back to PyroFalkon Plays SimCity 2013. I am PyroFalkon. New play session, so we're going to go ahead and change the color filter. Let's see, what's desaturated? I don't think I've done that one. Oh, yeah, I did. That's, not probably all that pleasing to look at. Sepia tone. Or sepia. I've never known how to pronounce that word. Is it sepia or sepia? Oh, whatever. We're gonna go with this color filter. As if it's an old movie. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you my plan for today's, for this episode, and then we'll get to the talking point topic. Now, it's been so long since I played, I had to watch my last episode again just to remember what I was doing. And I was about to make a rather terrible mistake. Given how strapped for cash we are in this city since it's new and we don't have any other money cities in the region since I bankrupted Guth Dragon's Den, I was about to place an oil refinery, but it's going to be too expensive. Right now we need to make sure our economy is in check before doing anything else, which probably is a lesson we should all be doing in our lives, right? So, we still need to make money, and of course we have oil being produced, or rather extracted, but we want to start extracting the metal too, and it'll be cheaper to extract the metal than it will be to try to place a refinery or something else to create a finished product. So we're going to take a medium density road, or rather street, and we're going to flip on the... Okay, maybe I'm going to change the color filter, because that's kind of annoying me. But anyway... So we want to capture this ore. Now, can I actually extend this curved road? Because that would be cool. Alright. So we're going to extend the curved road here. And we are going to place an ore mine. Let's see. And we will place a second truck. And the sign. And some more mining shafts. So now we have plenty, or we will once it gets going. We'll have plenty of ore coming up. Let's see if I can... Yeah, I'm changing this color filter because I can't see what I'm doing. Let's go with off. I don't think I've played with the original color filter in the Let's Play yet, so we'll just stick with the default. And I've got plastic, and alloy, and crude. Okay, let's get rid of the plastics. We don't need those. We'll replace that with straight ore. And I don't have... Oh, I do have the money, but... Well, that kind of stinks. Let's see. How much would it cost me for a third trade depot? I forgot how much they cost. Oh, they don't cost... Oh, they only cost 140 an hour. That's not bad. Okay, so we'll lay down a third trade depot, which is probably a waste, but... I mean, it's a waste of cash. I'm running kind of low. And there we go. Alright, so now we're going to set the ore to be exported. And we're going to sit on the 17,000 that I've got. Because the last thing I want to do is cause a problem and not be able to deal with it. So we're going to export the ore. We'll also say export the alloy. Even though we're not making alloy yet, we will make alloy eventually. There we go. And I can build a petroleum HQ, but again, right now we just want to save up some cash. I'll keep an eye on population. We'll probably need to get some more people in here so we have some jobs, because it looks like we probably have a bunch of unfilled jobs. That's not bad. We certainly need some more people. Okay, so today's topic. As you can see in the title, today I'm going to talk about the PlayStation 4. E3 has come and gone, so we know that Sony just obliterated Microsoft at the event, which is great, but here's the thing about the PS4, and I will get into why I named this episode, one of the few episodes I actually knew what I was going to name it before I started it. Why I named it, I talk about the PS4, sort of, because I think my reaction to the PS4 like a few other things, is going to speak more to me as a toward me as a person than as a gamer. The fact is, with the PlayStation 4, I just don't care either. But this is what has been concerning me lately, and this has been actually going on for several weeks now. I'm starting to wonder if, after all these years, because I've been a gamer since I was 8 years old. That was when I had a Game Boy in my hands. I seriously wonder if I've come to the point where I'm looking for other opportunities and other hobbies. I mentioned rather uneloquently in one of my Wolverine videos that I don't like subcultures, and just because I'm a gamer doesn't mean that I follow any kind of stereotype or subculture of being a gamer. I simply am a guy who likes video games. I've loved them for years. Hell, I'm semi-employed by IGN Entertainment. It's my dream job. Other than the fact I'm not doing it full-time. But it is my dream job. And yet, I just don't get excited anymore. I don't get excited like I used to for games. I don't get excited for E3. I knew when E3 was coming because IGN goes on high alert and all of us freelancers are sort of, you know, put on alert that they'll need our help to deal with wikis, to moderate, especially when a whole bunch of information comes in at once. You know, we'll have trolls dealing with the wikis, and, you know, us moderators have to stop it. So I knew E3 was coming, but I just didn't care. I didn't care about who was presenting. I didn't care that Nintendo wasn't going to show up. I didn't care about the next generation reveal. I didn't care about Microsoft trying to justify their stupid decisions. I just didn't care, and I still don't care. And I've been trying to figure out why I haven't cared. And for the last couple weeks, I have had this notion that maybe it's time for me to do something else. I mean, it's been 22 years. I'm 30. And I'm not saying, I'm not going to be like one of those stupid, crazy people who's going to say something like, I'm outgrowing it, or it's for kids and it's not for me anymore, or I'm not a kid anymore. There was a famous author who once said, as a child, I like childish things, but as a man, I put away childish things, or something like that. I don't know. So I'm not that crazy. And I'm also not going to say that I'm going to quit gaming, because I never will. I will never just put down all controllers and be like, well, I'm out. I'm never going to do that unless the electricity stops. And if the electricity stops and we live in a revolution-type world of bad acting and terrible heroines, I'll still probably be playing games, just not games that are online or on a computer or with a controller. But that all said, I just don't find the excitement I used to in E3 or the PS4 reveal. It used to be that I was excited and could not wait until I got the next system, and could not fathom how I would live without one, and that I needed an N64, or I needed the Super Nintendo, or you know, I was a little more worried about the GameCube, but I was crazy excited for the PS2, and when I upgraded from an Xbox to an Xbox 360, I was pretty happy. So, I don't know what's changed. I don't know if there's something that happened in my life. I mean, I've had a few, let's say, traumatic events happen in the past 3 years, but that never really seemed to affect me so badly that it changed who I am, because being a gamer, this hobby of mine has been my identity for, well, since those years that I mentioned, probably 22. Everything I've done is game-related, and I've done everything to try to get into the industry and become more of a writer or of a fan or whatever. And I've just not had that kind of passion lately. You know, I read one of the IGN tweets mentioned that one of their head writers had was the kind in high school that he would actually call off, or, you know, he'd play hooky and do everything he could to follow all the latest news bits whenever there was a show of E3 or the like. And, you know, I've been thinking back, and I used to be that way, but I don't have it anymore. And the fact that the IGN full-timers still do have it, that says something. That's great, and I'm glad. And I'm not going to judge negatively on that passion. I think it's fantastic. I'm just wondering where mine went, because I don't have it anymore. There are still a lot of games I love, and there are still a lot of games I'll probably play until the day I die. Final Fantasy VI is my favorite game of all time, and I usually play it once every year or every 2 years just to keep myself fresh with the game. And I don't know why, but I love that game, that particular one. So none of that's ever going to change, but just for this next generation, I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm happy with everything that Sony's done. Well, almost everything that Sony's done. You know, I won't get into it. You guys, if you're on the internet at all, you probably know all the great things that Sony's going to do with the PlayStation 4 compared to what Microsoft is doing with the Xbox 360. Plus, Microsoft's PR campaign over the 360 is just a mess. Freaking idiots that they are. But I don't have... Where are my guides? I don't have the same... like I said, I just don't have the passion anymore, and I don't have... I can't really explain why I don't have it. It's just gone. Maybe it'll be back. Maybe it'll take a certain game. And there are games I'm interested in, and I will, in all likelihood, buy a PS4 and maybe an Xbox One if Microsoft pulls its head out of its ass and actually gives some sort of reason for me to care. But, you know, I mentioned in a previous video that I always require myself to have 4 reasons, 4 games that I cannot live without before I buy a new console. And I'm still going to apply that to the PlayStation 4. I probably won't buy it on launch day. I'm very interested, though, in Watch Dogs. I'm interested in Metal Gear Solid 5, but that's it, of the next gen. And so that's only 2 reasons. I'll need 2 more games before I convince myself to buy a PS4. And some of the things that Sony has done, I don't mind. Like, you know, they're charging for the PlayStation Plus and they're requiring it. Who cares? It doesn't matter. It's still less expensive than the Xbox Live Gold. And more to the point, when you sign up for PlayStation Plus, you have... Is it called PlayStation Plus or PlayStation Network Plus? PSN Plus? Whatever. When you sign up for the service, you get free games regularly. And not just crap games, but some really good, even AAA title games. You know, so it's great, and I'm glad that Sony was able to really punch Microsoft where it counts. But I just don't care. And maybe part of it is the fact that, again, just me as a person, I've never been excited about things before they're actually here. And that is, you know, one problem. You know, there are games, the systems are not out yet. So why are we stressing, you know, so much about trying to know exactly what Microsoft and Sony are going to do? I've never bought into the hype train. I'm happy when the game is out and I can be excited about it. You know, like I said, I'm excited for Watch Dogs, but that doesn't mean I'm frothing at the mouth and signing up to every wiki and Twitter feed just to see development of the game. I'm interested when it comes out, nothing more. So again, I wonder, is this my problem? Am I in such a minority? I must be, because IGN tweeted that their site recorded absolute record traffic for E3. And by, I mean record as in they had never had so many visitors visit their site ever, unique visitors, except in those 3 days of E3. And I think day 2 especially was their absolute highest ever traffic, which is great. That means gaming is expanding. And unlike some douchebag elitists, I actually do want my hobby, I want gaming to expand and become a force and a thing to be enjoyed by the whole family, and I want it to last as long as there is electricity that can flow through the power lines of the world. But I just don't care about the PS4. I don't care about the next generation. And there are times when I don't even care about the current generation. Am I old? Am I becoming jaded? Am I just burned out? The truth is, in September, this will be 9 years that I've worked for IGN, and I still love what I do with them. And, you know, it's not just a line when I say I really do love doing videos for you guys, too. I love what I do here on YouTube, even though I don't have, you know, the thousands and thousands of dollars that some YouTube creators have. Some YouTube creators, some Let's Players have so much money from ads and are so good at what they do that this is their full-time job, which is nice. I would love to do that, but either I'm not, I've mentioned before in comments, either I'm not entertaining enough or there's just something I'm missing that I'm not doing that, I don't have quite that kind of audience. In fact, I got my report, my ad revenue report for the month of April, which is the first month that I started my agreement with the gaming network, and I've made $17 in 1 month, which is not nearly enough to live on. Yet, I love playing games for YouTube, and I love playing games for IGN. I love especially writing strategy guides, and I don't know why. It's just always been something. Maybe it's because I love being a writer and I love being a gamer, and as I've said before, that job lets me follow both of my passions at once and make money from it, which is great. But but that's really the only place where I get my pleasure from anymore. Like, there are very few games I play for pleasure, and I do find myself more excited, more interested, and more engaged when I'm doing videos for you guys. Like the Wolverine videos were fun. I mean, like I've said before, I've wanted to play the X-Men Origins Wolverine for a long time, and I had a feeling I'd enjoy it. But it's so much more fun when I'm able to do guest commentary with the Akamura and do the videos for you, read your comments and all that. But just in general, I feel myself not caring so much about the game industry anymore, or rather, I find myself less interested in participating in it. I wonder if I would feel different if the internet was now, like if I was a teenager during this time. Because you guys have to remember, especially for any of you guys who are younger than me, the internet in its current form, the so-called Web 2.0, hasn't really been around that long. When I was growing up as a teenager, the internet wasn't the two-way communication device it is now. The internet was pretty much a very large magazine, mostly Hustler and Playboy, but anyway, where, there weren't comments, there weren't thumbs up, YouTube didn't exist, there was very little feedback. I remember my first letter to IGN was a long email that they reprinted, because that was the only way you could do it. You sent an email, and then the webmaster had to decide that they wanted to actually reprint your letter, so they'd copy-paste. And I wonder if I would be more engaged as a teenager now, because as a teenager, I was really invested, like I said before, and I wonder if I would have gotten in the comments and the Twitter feeds, and if I had kept myself glued to the monitor every day seeing what the latest was. I probably would have, but at least now, I can't anymore. I'm too old. Not that I'm old, and not that people 30 or whatever can't do it, but I'm saying, again, I have other interests, I have a job, I have a day job, and I don't have the time to monitor gaming information like I used to. I honestly don't know how some people who have families and wives can do it. I have nothing. I have no commitments, and yet, I do what I can, and I don't have all that much time. So, but maybe the difference is that a lot of Let's Players tend to that's their life, and that's their only interest, and for me, it's not. Gaming is a hobby, a very strong hobby of mine, but it's not my lifeblood, and maybe I'm not cut out for the job after all. Like, maybe I'm not cut out for IGN. Maybe I'm not cut out to be a long-term self-employed gamer. Maybe I need to find something else to do. And it makes me sound like I'm in a midlife crisis, and maybe I am, maybe I'm just overthinking it. Because at the end of the day, like I said, I'll always be here to game, it just might take slightly different forms than it used to. And it may not be as passionate as it used to be. But as long as you guys are here, and as long as I have an audience on YouTube, and as long as my subscribers keep growing, which they do, clearly that means I'm doing something right with these videos, these games that I choose, and the way my commentary is. And as long as that's true, I will always do what I can to do YouTube videos, show you guys different games, maybe show off different sides of my personality. And at the end of the day, like I've said before, this is where I have the most fun, doing videos for you guys. And hopefully I can keep doing that for as long as there is electricity flowing through the power lines of the world. Well, thanks for watching, guys. This was episode, 24, and not a whole lot got accomplished building-wise, but by sitting here and talking, my money has built up. I've got nearly $500,000, and we'll start working on getting the city going in the next episode. Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, I do appreciate the views, the comments, the subs, and everything. Bye.